Praise God, YouTube, Trey here. Pray everybody has had a blessed week so far, that you're doing okay. On today, I want to deal with actually several concepts, but we want to help those who are having a difficult time learning how to play by ear. Maybe you've always been classically trained, or perhaps you've always been taught to play by ear, but you've never really had structure. And I just really want to challenge everybody to learn and to practice smart, moreover just hard. And I'm saying this from experience. I did take lessons starting at about, almost 9 years old, I believe. And maybe a year or so or less, then I was on my own trying to basically pencil together songs. Note by note until I could play a song, because I really didn't understand theory. So I just went at it with my ear and tried to pick out every little section. But there are smarter ways to approach this that will help you excel a lot faster. Okay? The old saying goes, you don't want to go around the world to just cross the street. So if you can learn how to do something easier and achieve the same results as someone who's practicing hours and hours a day and getting stressed out, let's go that way. Okay, so we're going to deal with progressions today, scales and progressions and chords, chords that are widely used. Because you want to get to a place where you're not approaching every new song you hear as a new entity, but you're saying to yourself, okay, I recognize those progressions, those patterns, and this song is not all that different from some stuff I already play. I know there are hundreds of thousands of songs, maybe millions of songs by now, but when you look at the song, less the lyrics, if you just are listening to the song based on the chord structure, the progressions, especially in what we call gospel or Christian music, CCM, whatever your genre is. There are not many unique songs. You're going to find a lot of the same progressions used in a great deal of these songs, okay? So if you're just beginning, let's start back at square one. In the key of C, major scale, and also these tones of the scale, they have numbers associated with them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're back to the 1, or you can also call it the 8. Now, in the simplest form, there are chords, simple chords that are associated with any tone, or with each tone rather, of a major scale, and they almost always work. Okay, so quite literally, if you know the major scale, if you learn the basic chord that applies to that note of the scale, you can play a great deal of songs. And when I teach playing by ears, I point people to the bass man, because if you're advanced, you can pretty much listen to a song and hear all the instruments at once and hear all the chord progressions, and you just go right into it. But if you're starting off, listen for the lowest tone. Listen for that bass man, because although bassists can play chords and harmonics and all that fancy stuff, for the most part, they're going to be playing one note at a time. So, number one, if you know the major scale, and then you know which chords apply to each tone of the major scale. And those notes are, on the one should be a major chord. So we know a C major chord in the key of C is C, E, and G. The second tone, which was D, should be a minor chord, D minor. And again, these chords don't always work in every song, but just to give you a starting point. The third tone, E, should be minor. Fourth tone, F, should be major. The fifth tone, major again. The sixth, minor chord. The seventh tone, a diminished chord. And then you're back to the 1. And a diminished chord can be described a few ways. It's on the 7th interval, okay, of the major scale. So you can look at it as a B minor with a flattened 5. Okay, so F sharp It's the fifth tone of the B major scale. So to flat that, you now have F, okay? Or you can look at it as a B major chord with a flattened third and a flattened 5. Either way is fine. So again, first tone, major, second tone, minor, third tone, minor, fourth tone, major, the 5, major, the 6, minor, the 7, diminished, and the 8 or the 1, major again. So it's important if you go through, listen folks, there are only 12 major scales, okay, 12 unique keys. Once you learn those, and then you learn the simple triad chord that's associated with every tone of that scale, you can play a great deal of songs that are out there. So once you learn it, see, it's easy as in the key of C, because you're basically keeping the same hand position up and down the scale. It's a little different when you move to different keys, but you should learn it and practice it in every key, following that pattern. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished chord, major. And once you learn it and you get a little bit fluent with them, you can change the sequence. So what if I did the 6 first? The 6 is what? A minor. And then what if I went to the 5? 5 is G in the key of C. And now let's go to the 4. Okay, and resolve to the 1. Pretty simple, right? 6 was minor. 5 was major. F major, the 4, and to the 1. Now understand, I know this sounds a little bland and boring, but we're just doing the skeleton, okay? We're just doing the roots. So let us find a loop here, and we can apply this. Okay? Let's keep it simple first. So notice I'm keeping every chord in its root position. So basically, if I'm playing the chord that associates with C in the bass, I'm leaving C on the bottom. Likewise with the 6. I kept the A on the bottom. But for every triad, you have what we call inversions. I'm not going to teach that today. Basically, you can rearrange the tones of that chord and place the chord at different pitches, okay? And what that does, it helps us to keep from skipping around. See, jumping from the 1 to the 6 is a nice jump. But if I know my inversions, that's all it takes to get to an A minor. Okay? So let's go back to our example. Okay, this eventually turns to this. You are my strength, the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid when you're right by my side? I run toward wash your face. It's because of your grace. We are not consumed. My praise goes to you. See how that works? It all starts here, okay, with the skeleton. Learning your scales, learning the simple chords that apply to those notes, listening for the bass man, okay, and then applying the chords. Very simple. Okay? Let's try something else. So the bass man is playing. Starts on the 1, goes to the 5, to the 6, to the 4. This is all I want you guys to listen for when you're trying to play by ear. Listen for that bass man. So on the 1, we had what? A major. On the 5, G, another major. The 6 is A minor. To the F. Let's slow it down. Go to the 5 next. Go into the 6. To the 4. You heard this one before. So amazing, 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 you're so amazing. Again, you can invert those chords and put them at whatever, and place them at whatever pitch you want. This is a big one. This progression here, the 1, 5, 6, and the 4, it's in a lot of songs, especially the songs that we call CCM, or this more contemporized gospel music. You need to learn this one. And again, get your fundamentals. Once you learn your scales and your numbers in every key, it doesn't matter who's singing, what key they're in, what song they're singing. If you can recognize this progression, you have the song. Okay? Do the same thing. Let's move to G. I'm sorry, let's go to D. We're doing 1, 5, 6, 4. So the major scale. Okay? That's going to be a major chord. 5 is going to be a major chord. 6 is going to be minor. 4 is going to be major. A major. B minor. G major. That's all it is. Doesn't matter what key, learn the pattern. 6 is minor. 4 is major. We're in the key of D sharp. My God is awesome. He can move mountains. Keep me in the valley. Hide me from the rain. See how that works? Same pattern, different key, different song. Same thing. Doesn't even matter. Minor, 4 major. here. All right. I know that went fairly quick, but the concepts, people, they are very simple. Let's apply this stuff and watch. I guarantee you, if you stick with trying to learn things the right way, I mean, ultimately, you can get to the same destination, but you will be so far ahead of others who are trying to just get online and learn all the fancy stuff. Show me the riffs, show me the praise break, learn your fundamentals. So as a recap, learn your major scales, okay? Learn the numbering system. Learn what numbers apply to each tone of that scale. Learn the simple chords that almost always work on each note of the scale. Okay, again, the first tone should be a major, second tone should be a minor, third a minor, fourth major, fifth major, sixth minor, seven diminished, the eight or one again, major. Learn that, and then when you're listening to your music, listen for that bass man. Listen for that bottom note. Once you get that down, apply the chords to those notes. And I guarantee you, if you put your time in, of course be prayerful, but put your time in, be dedicated, and watch God add to your ministry. I hope this has helped somebody. If it has, comment, share it with somebody. Let's all improve and grow in God. You all have a blessed weekend.